Hi guys, welcome to today's Q&A. I'm so excited to be here and I'm excited to have you guys. So, today we'll be talking about the difference between having a religious connection to God or to the divine and having a spiritual connection because I feel like it could be mixed up, and today I just want to take this time to really talk about both and how to make the switch if that's what you feel like you need to do, and also about how I kind of made the switch in my own personal life. So, without further ado, let's get to it. So, about religion, I didn't necessarily grow up religious like that, but I was taught, about God and Jesus, and I grew up reading the Bible and everything like that. And in a lot of ways, it did change my life, as a little girl and stuff. Um, and then, so that was just like my whole life. I grew up going to church and everything. And then a couple years ago, I went through my personal kind of like identity crisis because as a little girl, I've always been curious just about who God is, what he's like, what does he do, like just the whole spiritual thing. I've always kind of had like a thing for it. So when I went through my identity crisis a couple years ago, I dealt with basically not knowing my power. Like I knew God and I knew what he was about, and I read about the angels and stuff, but I was like, but why am I suffering? Like, why am I going through this? Why is it that I'm not getting the results that Jesus, got, or Moses, or just the people back in the day? Like, they were really slaying this spirituality thing. And I'm trying these things and I'm trying to be positive and I'm trying to pray, but it's just not clicking for me and it's not working. And why? Because if you're gonna learn the same thing that someone else knows, you're supposed to get the same results, right? If you believe in the same thing that someone else believes in, you're supposed to get the same results. And I was like, why is mine like really bad? And so during my identity crisis, I was really trying to figure that out. I just felt like I'm a very kind person. Like I've been good, but I don't understand why I feel guilty for wanting what I want. I feel like a lot of the times God gives us a purpose and a vision and a mission, a gift, a talent, and but people have a hard time following that. It's funny. Like you first of all probably have a hard time figuring out what it is, and then you have a hard time following it and running through with it and believing that this is really what is going to be changing people's lives. And I feel like for me that was it. Number one, I wasn't too sure what my purpose was, so I kind of always felt what I wanted to do or what I wanted to be. I had some mentors, but I didn't really know like the label. Like I didn't know, okay, I was born to be a dancer or I was born to be a singer. I felt like I could do a little bit of both, but I wanted the name. I wanted to belong to something. Um, Otherwise, I felt extremely unneeded. I felt lost. I felt like sometimes God answers me and sometimes he doesn't. And it's like a on and off thing. And that's not what I wanted. I didn't want the cycles. And during that process, everything happens for a reason. But as I was going through that, I really started tapping into the spiritual part of it, you know. Um, Again, I didn't necessarily grow up religious, but I feel like I've just gotten more spiritual. So it's not even about like what I've been taught, it's more about what I'm experiencing, just that one on one connection with God. So right now, the end result is I honestly do feel much closer to him than I've ever felt in my entire life. It could be maybe a little bit of mental maturity, but it also is on experience and my own personal encounter. And I feel like that's what counts. So imagine you want to get a job, right? Um, And so they ask you, so how many years of experience do you have, right? They usually ask you that question. And they don't care how long you've studied, whether you studied for 5 years, 10 years. They want to know how much experience you've had. Experience is what carries weight. And I feel like that's the same thing when it comes to this religious connection and the spiritual connection. You've been taught about things, but that's not enough. You need a one on one experience with it. So you need to tap in and have your own connection to God or with the divine, you know? So it's the same thing. So try to focus on that. Like we can be taught a lot of things, even like listening to podcasts or sermons, as I like to do. What matters the most is that one on one. It's you sitting down alone and just tapping in and making that connection. And before the end of the video, I can give you a few tips on how to really begin and start that connection if that's what you're looking to do. Okay, well, number one is, first of all, I did do a video on this. I think it was like how to start your spiritual journey if you're a beginner. I did do a video on that, so you can just look down below and check that one out. Another thing I would recommend is to just be still. Just be still. I feel like we're taught that God is in the skies, He's in heaven, He's out there, but He's also inside of you, right? He's also in you. He is you. I feel like there's just, we've been taught an illusion of separation. We've been taught that this is God and then this is me. This is Jesus and then this is me, which is true, but we're also one at the same time. And once you start understanding and experiencing, most importantly, that oneness, because there's a difference between knowing something, like knowing that you're one, and then believing something and then tapping into that because it's what is true for you. So, as you know that you're one with Him, things just start to happen because the universe, the world, is created from love, that energy. God is love. And then everything, the desires of your heart will just come to you, they'll flow. Like, think of the waves of the ocean, or how the sun never runs out of energy. That's the abundance that's about to come to you once you open up yourself. And secondly, also know that you're not separate from what you want. You're not wrong for wanting to change your life or help people or become a better person. And I felt guilty. Like, I was like, okay, I feel guilty, number one, because I don't know my purpose. I'm trying to figure it out. People around me are doing things, and I feel like I just want to feel it inside of me before I do it. Like, I've never really been the type of person to go with the wind or do things because other people are doing it. It's a trend. If I'm going to do something, even if it's like even if it's like a bad decision, if I'm going to do something, I need it to come from me. I need it to come from my heart. I don't want to just go with the wind. Like, I've just always been that person. So as other people around me were doing things, and I'm just like, I don't know. It's just not connecting for me. And so I had to take some time to figure out who I am, first of all. And then after you know who you are, you can decide what you want to do, not the other way around. You don't just do things, and then it's like, oh, okay, who am I? First of all, discover who you are, right? Once you know that, once you awaken to that, then you can go ahead and do what you do. Write the book if that's what you want to do. Spirit will lead you into that one anyway. But yeah, I just went through a lot of guilt, and guilt is a very, very, it's a strong emotion that it's either caused by an early childhood situation or something that you're experiencing. But literally, because I've been through it, your mind cannot stop overthinking. It will keep running and running and running. I think the effect is different for different people, but for me personally, I just felt like I can't stop overthinking. I'm super stressed out. My mind just keeps going, going, going. I can't tap into my heart. I just feel like I don't belong. I don't I feel like I'm not needed just in the world, like in terms of my purpose. I feel like there's billions of people in the world that are already doing things. Why do I matter? What's the point if I'm here or if I'm gone? Like, I don't feel me. I don't feel my power. I don't feel my purpose. So that's the struggle I went through. And once I figured out who I was, which is still a journey. And the interesting thing about it is it's just like learning, right? You can never say, I'm done learning, I've stopped learning. There's always something new to learn, there's always a revelation. There are millions of books that you can read that will help you expand your knowledge, right? So the journey to discovering who you are is a journey, not a destination. You can never really say, okay, you know what, I know everything about myself, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do, boom, 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 boom. But as you start walking that path, as you take each step at a time, things will be revealed to you slowly and surely. And that's something that I went through. Like, I did some things while still discovering who I am. And still today, I'm discovering that, but it's at a different level. So I'm not where I used to be. I'm discovering who I am on this level. A couple years ago, I was at this level. And at the end of the day, like I said, things happen for a reason, and we go through things for a reason, and there's a lesson behind every single thing. So the best thing to do is detach your emotions from it and look at the lesson. Don't take it personally. Just look at what this experience is trying to teach me, about what I can do, about what I'm supposed to do. Because to a certain extent, I attracted that situation because of my mental state at that time. So, for example, if you're a negative person, like you feel like, I don't know, yeah, like bad things just happen to me, or I'm the last to get chosen, you will attract situations that match what you're thinking. It's just natural, and it's just how the world works. You'll start to attract experiences that reflect your belief system about yourself. So another thing to look at is look at what you believe. Write down every single thing that you believe about everything. What do you believe about God? What do you believe about yourself? What do you believe about your purpose? What do you believe about money? And look at how there's a reflection to that. There's a match to that due to the external circumstances around you that's happening. Because your truth, isn't necessarily someone else's truth, because we believe in different things. But what you believe in is what will be true for you and is what will work for you. An example would be during the pandemic. Let's firstly say RIP to all those people that really, really suffered and lost their lives. We hold it dearly to our hearts. I know a couple of people that passed away. It's really, truly heartbreaking. But anyway, during the pandemic, there were people that truly, truly lost their jobs. Their finances really went down, and but I knew other people that like their businesses really skyrocketed during that time as well. And I'm glad that I get to know, because I know someone that kind of went downhill and someone that went uphill. And it's funny because I know them personally, and I know their belief systems and what they believe about money, what they believe about who God is. And yeah, so let me talk about both of them real quick. So the one that went downhill believes that, number one, they are a victim to life. They are a victim to what the government says, and whatever happens happens, and I can't control things, and you can't control 90% of the things that happen to you. When things happen, they happen. We try our best anyway. There's nothing you can do about it. Life is whack. Why am I doing this? And then the other person is more like, I know that's the only thing I can control. Yes, I can't control what the government says. I can't control the state of the economy. I can't control a pandemic. Like, it took us all by shock. It just happened like this, right? No one can dictate when another pandemic will happen. So you can't control external circumstances, but what I know that I can control is my internal self. What I'm thinking all the time. I can control my mind, which is tough, but it's not impossible. So you can control your inner thoughts, you can control how you react to something and not how you respond to something. So person A, the person that went downhill, was more of a responder to something, like, oh, this happened, so the immediate answer is to walk away, right? And the other person was like, no, I'm going to, what? No, sorry, the other person reacted. This person that went uphill responded saying, listen, I know that I'm powerful. I know that I'm here for a reason. And I know everything happens for a reason. And if I detach my emotions from this thing, I'll get the lesson. And that person's businesses, I think their sales increased by 60% during the pandemic. And it's all about perspective. It really, really is. It's all about how you view yourself, how you view what's happening, and are you going to use a situation to grow, to help you grow, to help you become a better person. So that's what I wanted to talk about. So, more about having a spiritual connection, it's more about experience. I cannot overemphasize how important that is. It's experience, it's taking that first step forward, because we're taught about things, but not everything is going to help you. There's some things you're going to need to let go of, and some things you're going to have to learn. Now, how to start on that journey, like I said, I did do a video on that, but I would highly recommend that you follow people, mentors, that you really, really resonate with, like their messages. It doesn't have to be 10, it could be one, two, three people. That's okay. It could be one person. Listen to when you watch a video or a podcast or something and you go, you feel like, oh, you have that yes moment. Keep listening to that, because that's your inner being, that's your inner spirit feeling the truth about that. Like, we come here and I feel like we're taught lies. I'm sorry, I just feel like that's the truth for me. I feel like we're taught lies about who we are, about what we can do. We're taught that Google's powerful, not knowing that actually we are spirits. You literally have access to universal wisdom. You know what I mean? And I feel like Jesus is a good reflection of that. Like, you have access to, listen, something that Google doesn't even know about. And I feel like that's what you need to learn to tap into. And this is the time to do it. I'm the person to help you do that, because I had to go through that journey. Like, literally, as we go to school, we're like, they're like, okay, do research on this, learn about this, study, study, study. So what you're used to doing is looking outside for answers. So that's why you're stuck when you feel like you don't know what your purpose is, because you're looking for outside to tell you your purpose. You weren't taught to go in, you weren't taught to be still and to hear, like spiritually hear, this is who I am, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I feel like that's the struggle that not only I went through that, but a lot of people go through that as well. Because we finish school and it's like, okay, and then what? And then what am I supposed to do? And I feel like the school system, first of all, is a little bit wrong, because we're supposed to have that balance of, yes, learning about stuff, math and everything, but also learning about who we are and why we're here. What's the purpose of life? What are we here for? Why is it that people go early and some people go a little bit later in life? Like, what is it about? You know, like, what is this thing of legacy? What am I here for? What if I don't do what I'm supposed to do? How do I know what I'm supposed to do? How do I hear my inner voice? How do I hear God speaking to me, or that whole nine? We're not taught about that. And it's a struggle for a lot of people. So we go out of school and then we're like, okay, I'm struggling. And that's just what I went through, because, like I said, I've never been the type to do things because other people are doing it. It really has to make sense to me. It really has to click for me. Like my heart and my mind need to be on the same page, otherwise I'm not doing it. And for me, I felt like, okay, I'm figuring this thing out. I just need to know my purpose so I can start taking action. Because it's pointless for me to write New Year's resolutions or goals if I don't even know who I am, for starters. How do I take action if I don't even know me yet? Right? And yet again, I like I said before, it's a journey, not a destination. We're just all at different levels of awareness of that. So I would highly recommend, if you're struggling, number one is because of the lack of knowledge. Okay, you suffer because you don't know something. That's just something I truly, truly believe in. Like if you're struggling with something, say you're struggling with I don't know, let's say you don't know how to read, right? There's a resource that will help you, teach you how to read. There's something, like we were taught that there's a teacher, there's an online something, something that you can do. There's a book you can read to help you improve your vocab and your pronunciation, right? So, what was I saying? Yeah. What was I saying? So you need to know things, right? So that's just really what I wanted to say, and the importance of that. Like there's a resource for everything. So like I said, you suffer because of the lack of knowledge, right? That's even in the Bible, and I think that's a universal law in general. You suffer because of the lack of knowledge. As you get to know things, as you open your mind up, especially to the power of yourself and who you were created to be. I mean, first of all, what's a spirit? What is a spirit? We're told that we're spiritual beings, right? And I always say this, we're spiritual beings that have a mind, that are in a body, right? What's a spirit? You were just told that you're spiritual. Like you can say you can take what I'm saying now, but like, what's a spirit? What can it do? Is it limited in any way? Like what do you mean? I feel like those we should be answering those deep questions, and always follow your curiosity. So it's not enough to be taught about something, to be taught about um God or angels or whatever the case may be. Take action, take steps to discover the truth, and you'll feel the truth in, first of all, internally. And it's a process, like it's going to change. Like one minute you believe in this, the next you believe in this, and that's okay. You're learning, right? There is, like I said, I feel like when it comes to the truth, it's a little bit different for everyone because we have different belief systems. We might share a couple of things in common, but one person may believe that um I don't know, a great example would be money is the root of all evil. So they feel like if you're spiritual, you should be broke, right? And you will be broke. Another person may believe money is the answer to all solutions, and you will be attracting money like this. So we may have, like, the truth will be different for everyone, but you can choose your truth regardless of what you were taught, regardless of what you're currently experiencing. You can discover what you want to be true for you, whether you grew up spiritual or not. Okay, so the first thing you can really, really do, like I said before, is just write down every single thing you believe in, and then look at how the external circumstances is a match to that. Look at, oh, that if you believe that spiritual people are broke, like I said, if you're spiritual, you're broke because money is the root to all evil. Look at how broke you are. Look at your bank balance, right? Look at how many times maybe your card has been declining or anything like that. Check out and decide to change that, because you're the creator of your life. I don't deal with victims. If you're going to be a victim, you can go somewhere else. I don't want to deal with victims. I don't want to deal with people that feel like, there's just nothing I can do about it. It's just life. What happens, happens. I'm here to tell you that all that is rubbish. Okay? And when I went through my identity crisis, I didn't know that. I didn't know that I can actually create the life that I want. I thought that I had to follow the system, even though I disagreed with it. I had to follow somebody else's rules. Somebody else had a say over my life. Somebody else could control my life. Somebody else could control my emotions. I didn't know the power that I had to say rubbish and to say, no, I can decide what I want and I'm going to have what I want, period. Okay. And God, God or the source or the divine, is in agreement with what I want. I feel like sometimes you feel like I want this pen, but maybe God doesn't want it for me. That's an illusion of separation. Okay, so we need to fix that and we're going to fix it. That's an illusion of separation. Don't separate it. Where did the idea come from? Think about that. The idea of you wanting that pen, the desire of it, where did it come from? Right? And the fact that you feel like maybe God doesn't want me to have it is what will make that thing not come to you. You will never have it because you believe in separation. You believe that you're separated from the desires of your heart or from the promised land or from money and riches and wealth and happiness and joy and peace. You feel like you're separated from it. So you will never have it, no matter how many times you pray or how many podcasts you listen to or how many sermons. It just won't work for you. So you have to deal with those internal things, those internal belief systems, because that's what creates your life. Okay, so if you want to change that, if you want to make some changes, and if you keep like writing New Year's resolutions and they don't come true, it just doesn't happen, or you're struggling with manifesting something that you want, look at your belief systems that you have about it. So the areas I want you to focus on is, let's focus on, so this is your assignments. Okay, let's start with yourself. Right, look at your past, like look at your New Year's resolutions and the goals that you have, and then look at your belief systems that you have about yourself. Really do this, like try to do this undisturbed. So being in your room will be a great way to do this. But look at your goals, something you want to achieve, something you really want, and then look at the belief systems that you have about yourself. Who do you believe that you are? Just a human? If you believe you're just a human, you will only be just a human, period. No matter what, there's so many great people that have done great things with their life, but because you believe that you're just a human, that's all you'll be. Okay, so number one would be on yourself. The second one would be on God, on spirituality, on the divine. What when you talked about God, um, some people feel like God is slash evil because he's going to punish you if you do something wrong and the whole nine like that. Like, look at those things. Look at what you were taught about God, and then look at how are they helping you, right? Are they helping you or hindering you? Because at the end of the day, and what we all know is that God is love. If this situation doesn't make you feel loved, get rid of it. Cancel the things that you just feel in your heart that you don't agree with, and decide that you want something different. And a good way is to like I said, get a spiritual mentor, just someone you listen to that can really help you on that spiritual journey. Yeah, because they've been through what you're going through and they can help you. And the thing is, you have to resonate with that person. So don't go for someone general and you're like, oh, no, 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 about it. Like, let their message resonate with you. Like I said, if you have that moment and you feel that truth, keep listening to more videos about that person or just things that they have available. Buy them if you need to, because that's what's going to help you. So number one would be yourself. Number two would be on God. Number three would, let's focus on health. Let's focus on money. Let's focus on relationships and friendships. So that's five. Top five. Let's do those five things. And I'll see you guys next week, Tuesday, for another episode. Yeah, thanks so much for watching. For more resources, you can definitely check out some more on my website at www.sehlisempire.com. We have workbooks, journals, checklists, notebooks, and courses also available that can help you with that transition, we're definitely holding a hand because, like I said, I've been through it and look at where I am now, you know? And that's because I had to make that decision to say, these are my belief systems, and are they serving me? Are they working for me? Do they make any sense? So it's not just about taking a formula. It's like, is this formula working for you? Just because it worked for somebody else, it doesn't mean it'll work for you too. And this is a deep message because we'll really, really need you to go within yourself and to figure out the answer that might make you cry. I remember me crying as I was doing this exercise. Because it was really emotional because you're getting rid of things that you were taught as you were growing up as a child, just things that you feel like aren't helping you, aren't serving you anymore. You need to get rid of those things, because at the end of the day, it's your life, it's about you, you know, the spotlight is on you. So that's really, really important. um Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you guys next week, Tuesday, for another episode of Q&A with Sehli. Make sure you share this video with your friends and your family, just anyone that you feel like really needs to listen to this, because it's not even about sharing. Right now, it's about changing lives. It's about helping the next person, right? Okay? Okay, so I'll see you guys on Tuesday next week. I love you. Bye.